What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking to you about the 2020 Trek Marlin 6 and the 2020 Roscoe 7. Just giving you my thoughts on how the bikes are, in my opinion, because I've had both bikes. I don't physically have them with me, so I figured I would make this type of video just so you can see me riding both bikes. And just, it's not really a pros and cons video, it's more of a helping you try to decide what kind of riding you want to do and giving you my experience and my thoughts on each bike to help you make the best decision possible when trying to choose between these two bikes, because I know I've been getting a lot of questions in the comments and everything about these two bikes, so I wanted to kind of touch on it again because I didn't have each bike a long time, but I had a lot of experiences with the bikes while I had them. And me having those experiences with the bikes helped me realize what kind of riding I really like. Because when I first started riding mountain bikes, as you can see how I'm riding right now, this is how I started. I wanted to ride casually. But when I started to do more and more stuff, that's how I found out what kind of riding I really wanted to do. And that's how I ended up with like 3 or 4 bikes in just a couple months. But I want to help you not make that same mistake and have to spend all that money or go with the hassle of trading bikes in and this and that, what I had to go through. So hopefully this video can help you decide what kind of riding you want to do, because I'm going to share how I decided which riding I liked and give you my experience so you can make a decision on which bike you want. So as you can see, the kind of riding I'm doing right now is mostly what people use the Trek Marlin 6 for. It's for commuting, light riding, and just to have a bike, to ride a comfortable bike, to be capable of street and trail. So this is what I would say the bike is mostly geared for. It's just people who want to have a bike to ride that comfortably, and if they want to hit the trail on the weekend or something light, then they can do that. Some things I really liked about the Trek were the tires. I like the tires because when I was riding casually like this, they had 29-inch tires, and they're pretty good. I mean, they Bontrager, but this bike was fast. I don't know if it's the tires or the size of the tires or what, but yeah, this bike was fast compared to my Roscoe 7. Maybe because the Roscoe 7 has plus size tires and more grip, but the Trek Marlin 6 is considered a cross-country bike, so maybe that's why it's faster. But I noticed a big difference in speed when I'm riding on concrete. So if you like speed, then I would suggest the Marlin 6 on concrete for sure. For the price of this bike, you also get a decent derailleur too. So when you switch gears on this bike, it's pretty good for the price, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm actually surprised at how good this bike shifted, but it did suck not having those it only has 8 gears. It did suck not having those 12 gears, but the 8 is still fine because I mean, you don't really need 12 for this type of bike anyway. One of the main things that sold me on this bike was that you could lock the fork out. You could either lock it or unlock it. So if you wanted to ride with some speed, less tension in the fork, you could lock the fork out. But if you wanted to ride, say you want to ride a trail, or you knew you were going to be on some bumpy roads or a bumpy trail or something, you can unlock the fork, and that's a huge advantage for an entry-level mountain bike. And that was one of the main reasons I got this bike. Now here goes the fun stuff. We in the trails now, baby. Don't talk about my gloves though. This was when I first started, so I didn't have gloves or nothing. I was just riding. This was when I found out, hey, I want to ride some trails because this bike is amazing for the price. So I know the fork is a big thing with this bike that a lot of people want to know about. And the fork is pretty good. I mean, for the money you spend on this bike, for the amount of things you can get out of it, I mean, I think it's pretty good. It's got 100 millimeters of travel, and you can got the adjustable fork where you can lock it and unlock it. I think that's a big advantage in itself. But I mean, the fork is pretty good, to be honest. I mean, I hit some crazy stuff, as you'll see in a little bit, but it's not meant for that. But if you absolutely have to hit some stuff like that. It's fully capable. So this bike is just great overall. If you're just a rider that wants to have fun and you don't want to do anything too crazy, I mean, this is the bike perfect for you. It can pretty much handle anything you put it through as long as it's not on a regular basis. I mean, you gotta keep it within its limits most of the time, but if you need to go out of its limits, it'll pull through it. Trust me, I put it through some crazy stuff. But if you just want to have some fun and have a comfortable bike to ride, this is perfect. But this trail right here is when I found out that I needed a different bike, and I found out what kind of riding I actually enjoyed. So since I'm on this one, maxing out the bike, I'll tell you a few things I didn't like about the bike. I wouldn't say I didn't like about the bike, but could have been better or why I upgraded. So the first thing was the seat. The seat doesn't go down super low, so you either have to get the post cut or you have to get a dropper post to get the seat to go lower. So I had a hard time getting the seat down because I like to jump and stuff, and you can't really jump with the seat up high. And another thing is the 29s are kind of bigger than what I would like because I'm kind of short. I'm like 5'8", so 27.5s are perfect for me. I feel like I got more control over the bike. And I like to jump, so I needed 27.5s too so I can go to the bike park and this and that. So I wouldn't say it was bad things about the bike. I would just say it didn't have the things I was looking for in the bike once I figured out what I really liked. Now on to the 2020 Roscoe 7, the bike that solidified my passion for mountain biking and caused me to do some crazy stuff, bumps and bruises, all that worked out for me because I still love riding, and that's just part of it. I mean, if you want to grow and get better at biking, that's just the cost of it. Now, I got this bike because I traded in my Trek Marlin 6, and then they gave me a credit towards the new bike. I told them, I said, hey, I want a more playful bike that I can do more stuff with as far as trails and bike parks. And they recommended me this bike. I didn't really want to spend a ton of money because honestly, I didn't know anything about bikes at this point. And this was the bike I was introduced to with the 27.5s. I didn't even know about the tire difference in it or anything. So they recommended me this bike, and this is the one that I ended up getting. So it was a big jump up from the Trek Marlin 6, especially on this type of stuff right here that I'm riding. And also the trails, but the fork was a lot better. The gears switched a lot better. And it was just a more smaller, more fun bike if you looking for that kind of riding. Now, one thing I noticed right away when I got this bike was I said, man, this bike is slow, because I was so used to the Trek Marlin 6. And when I got on this thing with the huge grips on the tires and the 27.5s and plus size tires, I mean, it made it a lot slower than what I was used to. So that was the first thing I noticed, was it was a lot slower than I was used to. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret though. When I had my Trek Marlin 6, people kept saying, I was talking about the seat, and people kept saying, oh, you should get a dropper post and this and that. And I'm thinking in my head, man, I don't even know what a dropper post is. So I honestly didn't know what a dropper post was until I got this Roscoe 7. And when I got this one, I said, man, this is what a dropper post is? This thing is a game changer. So that was a huge upgrade from the Trek Marlin 6, was this already coming with a dropper post. If you don't have a dropper post, I definitely suggest you get one. You'll thank me later, trust me. But the tires are very good for this type of riding, especially cornering and just getting good grip in general. But I mean, on the kind of trails I like to ride, I definitely need to be able to get grip in the corners. So this bike is great for it, and that's why I really couldn't compare the two, the Trek Marlin 6 and the Trek Roscoe 7, is because it's pretty much a different kind of riding. So if you like this kind of riding that you see right now, and some rough trails with jumps and stuff, I mean, if you can't really get a full suspension right now, I mean, this is a excellent hardtail choice. So it's kind of hard to just narrow down the Roscoe and say, hey, this bike is strictly for this or this, or you would be better off doing this with the bike, because the Roscoe is just made for everything. It's just a bike where it's like, okay, I just want to get on a bike and go have fun and be capable of doing pretty much anything. And that's what the Roscoe is for. It's just to have fun and be playful, and you can pretty much do anything. I mean, look at this right here. This is ridiculous, but I mean, you can just get on the bike and just try anything with it, and that's the best part about it. So that's my honest opinion about both bikes. I mean, I'm definitely not an expert at bikes, but I get a lot of comments about the bikes and stuff, so I figured I would give you my hands-on experience. I mean, what I experienced with the bike as a rider. So I don't know a lot about bikes, but I could just tell you what I know from riding them, and just trying to help you make the best decision possible and give you all the knowledge that I do have. And I'm just learning as I go myself, to be honest. I mean, I learned a lot in the comment section. But I almost forgot, the Roscoe 7 has an air fork too, and that's a huge upgrade too. I almost forgot about that. But yeah, it has the air fork, and you can lock the fork out and stuff too, so that's a great thing to have. But if you have any questions or anything, make sure to leave a comment, and I'll definitely answer your questions the best I can. Thanks for watching.